Yo guys, what is going on? Got some more Digimon BT7 gameplay for you guys. So on the left, I am playing a blue hybrid, lots of hybrid decks that I've been posting recently, but of course that's basically what the format is all about. I'm going to start off with Davis, as well as the Madoki Betamon. Davis is really nice, not only because he's a blue tamer that gets you a search, but then also you can of course evolve on him now if the need arises. I'm playing against purple hybrid over on the right. My opponent is going to hatch the Demi-Meramon, play the Kari for a cost of 3, and then just play a Eismon Scatter Mode straight up from his hand for a cost of 4. Scatter Mode is a really scary card. Being able to just draw 3 like every single time it's deleted, and then being able to pitch like your Eismon, Nidhogg's to gain memory, etc. There's just a lot of utility that card gets you. I'm going to play the Strabimon for a cost of 3, grabbing the other Strabimon to my hand, being able to search both hybrids and blue tamers is of course really crazy in this deck. I wish other colors had like BT4 Strabimon and Flamemon equivalents now that we're actually getting dedicated hybrid decks for those colors, but I digress. I'm going to swing security with the Madoki, drawing off of the Upamon, and then playing the Bokomon for a cost of 3, revealing the Tommy, and then the Beowulfmon I'm going to grab to my hand because he can grab both a Tamer as well as a Hybrid / 10 Warrior, so really nice utility there. And then I'm going to put the rest on the bottom. Now, my opponent was actually debating on suspending the Kari, but he decided not to because he didn't want to be left with just one memory. But anyways, I'm going to play the Pokemon pass turn, and then my opponent is going to start with 3. So then we are going to possibly see the Eismon swing because I did not get the chance to freeze it, so he's definitely going to swing, just trying to get the draws. But unfortunately for my opponent, he's going to run into the Koji, so the Eismon does not die. And here lies one of the kind of worst things you want to see as a purple player, your Eismon just not dying, which is why you play cards like Calling from the Darkness, I believe it's called, the 1-cost option card that lets you delete one of your own Digimon and then add back 2 purple Digimon cards from your trash to your hand. We're going to see the Loimon Digivolve on top of the Lopmon. So this is more of a kind of Cherubimon, like a hybrid focused deck. You see the Lopmon, Rihimon as well in the trash. Being able to Digivolve on top of, Tamers is really nice. And then you get to play them back with the Cherubimon. We're just going to see a man and then add the Rihimon back to the hand. I'm going to hatch the Upamon to start my turn. Digivolve the Strabimon. The BT6 Strabimon is really nice, being able to just get a memory every single time you swing. I'm going to go ahead and evolve Koji into the Bazooka Bear. We got Kumamon here for a cost of 2. He's got the on Digivolve where he can trash something, but it's not super relevant right now because I'm going to just go on up into the Beowulfmon. Beowulfmon again lets me evolve for only a 1 cost, being a really powerful hybrid, being able to bounce a level 4 lower and then gain the memory off of the Koji since a card was added to my hand by a card effect. But we're going to hit a Schwartz-Lazarts in security, being able to delete up to 2 of my Digimon since he's got the 2 Tamers on field, and then suspending the Kari to gain 1 memory, putting me down to 2. So that is a little bit unfortunate. That my Beowulfmon was killed so early, but that's all right because I still definitely think I have the advantage going into this. You see, if you see, I've got the Magna Garurumon in my hand as well, so that was a little bit unfortunate. I was hoping I could go into the Magna Garurumon out of the Beowulfmon after I attacked, and then eventually being able to have that control aspect with him, but it's not super relevant. So I'm going to just play the Sora and Joe and then start my opponent with 3 because he's got the Matt Loimon is going to come out. We know he's got the Ryumon, but the question is it really value to Digivolve on top of it, because you would have to Digivolve it for a 3 cost, not a 1, since it's not on top of a Tamer. We're going to see another Kari played for a cost of 3. So this deck really just wants to, of course, it's like any other hybrid deck that's running a ton of Tamers, but you're honestly also fine with your Tamers going to trash or swinging early with your hybrid Digimon to get the Tamers in trash, because you can always get them back off of stuff like Cherubimon as well as Rihimon. Then we're going to see the Scatter Mode that I bounced back to his hand the prior turn played onto the field, and then I'm going to go +2 memory with the Sora Joe Dual Tamer. That Tamer is probably one of the best in the game right now, just because in blue there are so many times if you've got Sora and Joe, you get to start your turn with so much memory, just because you have so many ways to strip sources, and then you can stun their Digimon that don't have sources, so then they can't attack, so then they can't get rid of it to play around Sora Joe, so then you just like always start your turn with like +2 memory. So it's really nice as the blue player here. Then we're going to basically Digivolve into Korikakumon, stun the Aizmon scatter mode with its effect, and then attack, trash the bottom 2 of the Loamon with the Sora Joe, hit a Kaiser Leomon in security, which is 6,000, so unfortunately I'm going to die to that, but that's okay because I already got the value I needed off of the Korikakumon. My Digimon are just not living in security, but that's alright. Like I said, my opponent only has 2 security. I'm pretty much chilling at this point with 4 security. I'm going to attack with the Strabimon, just putting him in rage and lethal, and my Strabimon lived, so that is just even better for me. We are going to then probably see me just play one more thing, because I realistically only need 2 hybrids to be able to finish out the game, since I will guarantee myself 5 memory basically with Sora Joe plus Davis. If I've got 2 hybrids, there's really nothing my opponent can do here unless he's able to finish me off this turn, which again is unlikely because he's got 1 Digimon that can't attack. He's got 4 Tamers in the back, but not enough to do much with those. Purple doesn't have any Hammer Sparks or any 1-cost hybrids like green or blue in this case. But we're going to see the Loamon attack and then hit another Sora Joe in security. That is just music to my ears at this point. And then we're probably going to see, I'd imagine, another hybrid here. So we're going to Digivolve on top of the Koichi for a cost of 2. We've got the Retaliator Kaiser Leomon, which unfortunately doesn't do much in this situation, but is really nice being able to get Retaliation on a hybrid, and then on deletion you get to gain a memory as well. We're going to see a swing into security possibly. No, we're going to actually see the Rihimon Digivolve for 1 first, because now if he does die, we will get to see a Tamer played off of his effect. But we're going to hit the Korikakumon and live that security check. But like I said, with only 3 Digimon on field, there's not really a way he can do anything this turn. Being able to like close out the game is what I mean. So we're just going to see the Cherubimon possibly Digivolved here. Realistically, the only Mega he plays is Cherubimon or like that. Yeah, so we're going to see the Cherubimon Digivolved. Cherubimon's then got the effect where you can play a Purple Tamer from trash and then blow up level 4 a lower Digimon based on the number of Tamers you've got in play, which is really crazy. I'm going to start my turn with plus 1,000,000 memory, and then we're just going to start evolving into hybrid. So we see the Kendo Gurumon for a cost of 2 swinging into security, and all I need is just 1 more, so I'm going to go ahead, throw down the Korikakumon there, and that is going to be game number 1. So game number 2, my opponent is going to start Digivolving in the breathing area with the Gabumon on top of the Demi-Meramon. And then we're going to see, the Kaiser Leomon evolved for a 3 cost. That is definitely not what you want to see. Evolving the hybrids for a 3 cost is definitely not optimal, especially if you're not really even utilizing their effects as well, because it's a on-Digivolve effect, which obviously you can't use in the breeding area, so it's really just a 6,000 vanilla at this point. We're just going to pass turn, putting my opponent to 1 after playing the Davis, and then we're going to see the purple player swing into security. Gabumon's effect will trigger, being able to draw 1, discard 1, and then discarding a Kari, not really needing to commit the memory like on field. You can just play those cards for free from your trash anyway, so it's not a big deal to be able to use them as discard fodder. Then he's going to hit a Bokumon security living, and then playing the Lopmon, putting me to 3 memory, of course, because of the Davis. I'm going to go ahead and Digivolve into the Strabimon. You see I've got an Ice Wall in my hand, so that's pretty nice. Drew into the 1-of. We're going to Howling Memory Boost Digivolve, trash the Digi-materials underneath the Kaiser Leomon, and then Digivolve into the Kumamon, and then now the Kaiser Leomon is stunned, and leaving my opponent with just 1 memory, or actually, no, he's at 2 now, because Kumamon is a 2 cost. So we're going to see the Lopmon Digivolved onto the Demi-Meramon, and realistically, what can he do here? Possibly go into a Loamon or something. Oh, we see the Aizmon here, which is definitely not what you want to see. You want to see the Scatter Mode first and then ditch the Eismon off of its effect. We're going to run into security with the Eismon going to the trash, but of course no effect because Eismon basically just has the effect where, like, if you have scatter mode in your trash, you can play him for free from the trash, and then I think he gains like plus 1,000 or something for each scatter mode in your trash, something like that. But anyways, so we're just going to see the Labramon then play drawing and discarding a dead or a live, which is honestly not doing a whole lot against this deck. If you give me 8 memory, yeah, you get rid of one of my tamers, but there's a ton of things I could do to come back from that. We're going to see the Korikakumon Digivolve for 1 running into the Dead or Alive, which unfortunately my opponent does not have a Lucymon in the trash right now, nor does he have a level 5 purple Digimon. So Dead or Alive can play a level 5 purple Digimon, but then if you've got 10 or more in trash, I believe, then you can play a Lucymon card, which both includes the yellow and purple Lucymon Chaos Mode cards. So then we're just going to whiff on that, unfortunately, and then I'm going to go ahead and possibly play, I think putting up more tamers is good at this point in the game. Yeah, we're going to see a Sora Joe, especially because the Kaiser Leomon is stunned, like I said, so he can't get rid of himself. The only thing he can realistically do is Digivolving over it, but if he's evolving, if he's wasting a Rihimon on his, Kaiser Leomon, not really being able to utilize its effect, since it's not on a tamer, you will have to evolve it for 3. I'm totally fine with that. We're going to see the Lopmon, the bunny here, come out of the breeding area, and he probably needs to out this Korikakumon. It's been putting in a mad amount of work. Being able to just stun Digimon and then swing into security, draw a card off Upamon. We're going to see the Loemon here evolved for 2, and then swing into security with the Labramon for, I believe, 2,000 DP or something. So, yep, we're going to run into the Kumamon. Labramon is going to die to the security check, and unfortunately, this is one of the problems I think that Purple Hybrid has. I was really excited for the deck, and it is definitely a fun deck. I'll probably end up doing maybe some profiles and more videos on the deck, but it's just a little bit slow and a little bit inconsistent. While that may seem kind of weird, especially because the deck has access to Eismon, if you're playing the Lucymon package and then the Tamers and then the Cherubimon package as well, it can still become like a little bit, like there's really not a lot you can do aside from like evolving into your Retaliation Tamers, which don't really do anything against most hybrid decks, aside from maybe running into like a Seraphimon or an Ancient Beetlemon or something, and then aside from like evolving into Cherubimon, but your opponent, if they're playing around Cherubimon, probably won't have more than 1 or 2 level 4s on the field at any given time anyway. So realistically, I think the best thing Purple has going for it is Eismon Scatter Mode and the purple option cards, Swartz Lazards. Yeah, that card's broken. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and attack with the Korikakumon, trash some of the materials with the Sora and Joe, and then run into the Loemon. Like I said, this Korikakumon is just absolutely putting in the work here for me, because he's just being able to swing over so many things for the past couple turns, drawing off the Upamon stuff. I also do have the Howling Memory Boost still. I haven't really needed to use that. We're just going to play Strabimon, put my opponent to 0. Yeah, I'm still at 0, and then not being able to add anything off of that. And then I definitely have lethal on board for the next turn if I have like another Sora Joe, or I'm just going to Howling Memory Boost, put my opponent to 1, and then stun the Kaiser Leomon anyway. So you can see that if you give blue enough time, they can just gain so much memory, gain so much advantage, and you have so many ways to stun your opponent and prevent them from attacking. It's really, really disgusting. I can't imagine playing against this deck when Ice Wall was at 4. Like, if anyone's played the Japanese meta, you know what I'm talking about. That's just crazy. I'm so glad we only have 1 Ice Wall to deal with, because Korikakumon, Tommy, Howling Memory Boost, those cards are enough, but more Ice Walls would just be like the icing on a really, really already disgusting cake. We're going to see the Antilamon Digivolved, and then of course it is still stunned, so it can't attack, but we are going to utilize its effect in allowing my opponent to play, I believe, a level 3 or lower tamer, or sorry, not level 3 cost or lower tamer from the trash. So we're going to see a Kari played for free, which is really nice. I believe that's the card you discarded early on in the games. And then we could possibly see a Cherubimon here. Again, it's not going to matter because I don't think he's really like living this turn. So even if he like Cherubimons me in the following turn, you know, the most I could lose is like 2, possibly 3 level 4 lower Digimon, but then I've already got lethal on board because I've got the, you know, the tamers in the back and everything like that too. So I can possibly just start swinging, and then if I've got double hybrid in my hand, I could even game him this turn because I am at 3 memory with the Davis, and then I can go to 5 with the Howling Memory Boost. So then we're going to go ahead and swing with the Korikakumon. Again, drawing 1 off of the Upamon, hitting another Dead or Alive, but is there a Lucemon in the trash? And guys, this is what I was saying, that I just think the Dead or Alive Lucemon package is a little bit too inconsistent, because you really need to have both of those conditions fulfilled. Like if you hit a Dead or Alive in security, you need to have Lucemon in the trash. If you play one from hand, you have to have Lucemon in the trash. If you have Lucemon in hand, you need to get rid of him before you can play the Dead or Alive, because it can't play from hand. It's only from trash. So that's just a little bit unfortunate. So then we're going to go ahead and suspend the Kari, putting me to 1 memory, which I believe I should be at 2, because I should have started the turn with 3. I'm not entirely sure on that, but I do believe I should be at 2 regardless. So apologize if that's the case. But we're just going to swing with the Strabimon, again drawing off of the Upamon, just gaining even more advantage, running into the Lucemon after the fact that Dead or Alive was hidden security, so that's a little bit unfortunate that those were out of order for my opponent. We're going to swing with the Strabimon at security, possibly hitting another, a Lucemon and Chaos Mode, no! So after the double Dead or Alive in security, we had double Lucemon. I'm just, my heart goes out to this purple player. I'm so sorry, man. We're going to go ahead and use the Howling Memory Boost to gain some memory, play the Tommy to rip this bottom sources of, you know, the Intellimon, which doesn't have any, and then we're just going to put my opponent to 1 and Ice Wall him. So there's absolutely no way we can get game this turn, because through 1 memory, he can't go a hybrid on top of the Kari, and he can't even really attack with more than 1 thing at a time, because we've got the Ice Wall in play. So he can, unless he's playing like Jack Raid or something, there's realistically no way he can attack more than once. And like I said, I do have lethal on board for the following turn. So if he gets rid of the Korikakumon, that could definitely help him out. I think that's what he needs to do, because in that scenario, I basically need to have double hybrid. Or a Cherubimon works as well. So we're going to Digivolve into Cherubimon, and then give me 3 memory, because he is a 4 cost, and then play a purple tamer from trash, which I'm not sure if he has any, but then going to be able to delete the Korikakumon finally after he has lived for like 3 turns. And then we're going to hatch the Upamon, evolve into the Madoki Betamon. I am only at 3 right now because of the you know, the fact that the Cherubimon and the Gabumon both have material, so this is a little bit difficult for me, but I'm going to go into Kumamon for 2. We're going to be able to then rip the bottom card of one of the Digimon, so rip the Cherubimon, and then if I swing with it, I'll be able to stun the Cherubimon with the Tommy effect. So I will say, you'll see in a second, I did this in the incorrect order. So what I should have done is trash the bottom of the Gabu, and then stun the Gabumon, and then attack with the Kumon still, so the Gabumon is stunned, because now you'll see in a second, I do have the Absolute Blast in my hand, so I can get rid of one of the other Digimon. So I'm going to get rid of the Gabumon, but I should have done it the other way around technically, because Cherubimon has a really good on deletion effect. So if he has like Calling from Darkness or Deathclaw or any way to delete his own Digimon, I realistically, like, he gets a soul charge basically. He'll be able to play a bunch of level 3s from his trash. So I should have bottom decked the Cherubimon with the Absolute Blast, but it's not going to matter. Regardless, he still has 1 stun Digimon, and then one of his Digimon goes to the bottom deck, and then he's only got 1 Kari on play, nothing coming out of the breeding area, so he can't attack me more than once, unless, of course, he's got some sort of promote or rush shenanigans going on that I don't know about, but probably won't happen. So I should have done that in the reverse order, but it might not have mattered too much, because if he deletes his own Cherubimon, he'd only get like 1 Digimon out of the trash, but regardless, we're going to see him Digivolve into the Gabumon, putting him at 6 security, by the way, or 6 memory, by the way, with the Absolute Blast. But I think that card is really, really essential to the blue strategy. It's one of the only ways you have of just getting rid of problematic Digimon. And in a situation like this, where my opponent, like, realistically, like, he had damage on board enough to kill me, But because I was able to go into the Kumamon on top of the Tommy, stun one of his Digimon, and then Absolute Blast the other one away, and then he had no follow-up with Digimon coming out of the breeding area, it was a little bit unfortunate. So then we're just going to see the Eismon Scatter Mode Digivolved, and then, going to draw one, trash one off the Koichi there, and then all I need to do is swing with my Madoki Betamon, because he has got no blockers in his hand or anything like that. There's no way he can prevent me from going for game unless he somehow, I don't know, like, there's nothing he can do. So anyways, we're going to just see the Kaiser Leomon evolved, and then it's going to pass turn, and I'm just going to be able to bring out my Madoki Betamon and swing for game. So guys, that is going to be the game. You see there, my opponent's hand was a little bit unfortunate with the triple Schwartz Lazats, but hopefully you enjoyed that match of yellow versus, so I say yellow, I'm losing it today, of blue versus purple. But guys, let me know what you think of the decks down in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.